page 4. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Juda Zoge Jonam Lo Chanju Badu Dani Gyapsush Dage Jinso Gebe Tsonam Ge Jola Benjires Sangye Juda Zoge Sangye Dubara Isho Sangye Juda Zoge Jonam Lo Chanju Badu Dani Gyapsush Dage Jinso Ejra Sangye Dubara Isho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Datagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, let's turn to page 50. Particularly those who were missing this morning. We'll take the aspiration bodhisattva vow together. If you turn to page 49, you see the Vajra moon, which you noticed as the logo of the Losar Migjay school yesterday. You noticed that? Page 49. Do you see that? So actually it should be in color. Somehow this is where the printers made a mistake. It's just put black white. It should be in color. So Vajra moon, this is so important. This is known as the blaze of non-dual bodhicittas. At the base, the flower, that's lotus, is just like a cushion. And then on top of that is the moon. That moon is the moon symbolizes what? Conventional bodhicitta. Kunzup Chanjup Sem. The moon symbolizes the conventional bodhicitta, and the Vajra symbolizes ultimate bodhicitta. The conventional bodhicitta, the moon symbolizing conventional bodhicitta. Conventional bodhicitta is defined as altruistic intention to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And the Vajra symbolizes the ultimate bodhicitta, which is the non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. Okay, so with this mind, let's move to the next page, page 50. Let's recite the first verse 3 times together, wholeheartedly reflect on the meanings. And the The first one is more this extremely practical, the message which says the first I go for refuge to Triple Gem, like seeking support for you to undertake a journey. The journey is the journey of enlightenment, and we have never undertaken this journey. It requires a lot of support, and the best of support we can think of is the Triple Gem. So the first line says, I go for refuge to Triple Gem. And the journey involves the road. If the road is blocked by the boulders and the fallen trees and so forth, again we cannot undertake the journey. So the road is none other than our own mind, and this mind must be freed of the negativities. To remove the negativities or negative karmas and so forth, one of the best ways, one of the best effective ways is to confess the negativities. So the second line says, I confess the negativities individually. So now the road is very clear, but if the car does not have fuel, again you cannot travel. So the car is your own mind, and this mind should have enough fuel of the virtues. And one of the most effective ways by which to accumulate virtues within a short span of time is by rejoicing in the virtues of others and not being jealous of others, the virtues. So rejoice in others' virtues, rejoice in your own virtues, rejoice in the virtues of others, and your virtues multiply. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Now that the road is clear and you have the inner fuel of the virtues, what kind of journey I'm going to undertake? The last line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart, the journey of full awakening of your Buddha nature. Okay. And the second and third verse is about how the Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, how he succeeded in his journey by creating two factors. One, the initial motivation, the factor of motivation, bodhicitta, and the second factor, the bodhicitta is just aspiration. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And we have to make this aspiration come true. And to make this aspiration come true, it should be engage in activities to make sure that this is actually what happens, enlightenment happens. So for that, 6 perfections, 10 perfections, these are the practices that we have to engage in. Okay, so just Prince Siddhartha succeeded in this journey by creating these two factors. I will also follow the footsteps of Prince Siddhartha. I will also create these two factors. So this is where you make a very strong commitment to awaken your own Buddha nature, to awaken your own treasure of the ultimate happiness and the fearlessness and infinite happiness for yourself, for your family, and for all sentient beings. This is the wisest thing for us to do. So with this mind, let's turn to page 50. Tatu Stephen Shilakandela, give you this knowledge that they forget. Ale. Oh, the Odo. Oh, Chudure. I should never swim with that's. Should never swim with the channel. They order that. Oh, that's. I'll read. I did the yellow. That's. Only order. Ah, less. She's not aware of them. Very well with them. Less.
That other Geshe 나무 같은 데 되지. 뭔짓 가세티 숭 그래서 최 나오지 숭유한 되르고니 이제 콜레 당내시 명아서 안 나는가 저도 네이닝 숨브레지. that Geshe 좀 나오지 도디 모더디야. 결정 모더디야 이제 뭔짓 가디야 오므지 대시에지. 그래서 네이닝 숨지 약다 이제 담부지. 대어서 야선다 대별 우스피지다 티 그럼 지고놈들 이제 대 줍메데네 데이터 견섬 도저 네이닝 숨지 뭔짓 가당데 돌링이나 다 결정 모더디 약다 우리 Lolas touching.
Laso tujana. Oh, laso. That's it, huh? Let us turn to page 50, and wholeheartedly let the SB recite this. Three things should happen. One, words flow. Number two, meanings reflected. And number three, experiences invoked. Okay, so let us try best that these three things happen. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the amount of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of bodhicitta, and otherwise shall I too successfully train in Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the amount of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of bodhicitta, and I shall have two successful train in Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the amount of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the amount of bodhicitta, and the shall have two successful train in Buddhist practices. Okay, now we are on page 100. Anyone? 144. Okay, page 144. Yes, page 144. Page 144, verse number 21. Verse number 21. It reads, sensual pleasures are like salt water. The more you partake of them, the more your craving will increase. Therefore, when something arouses attachment, to abandon it immediately is the practice of a bodhisattva. So here the example of the salt water was given, and some teachers give the metaphor, the example of the skin rashes. Skin rashes, not all. Some of the skin rashes, you feel the itch. If it's so itchy, and then you scrub, it gives a temporary relief. Even if it again increases. How many of you had that experience? Raise hands. David, you have no experience? Oh, okay. So raise hands. Maybe Sweden is a very nice place. Yes. So I think that Sweden is one time is considered as best country in the world many years ago. Okay. So how many had that experience? Say your skin is itchy, and then you scrub it relieves, and again it increases the what itchy feeling increases. Raise hands. How many had that experience? Okay, Damdul, no. Yes. The Antaraji and Padmaji. Yes, we all had that experience. So this is like the sensual pleasures, meaning that the pleasures we get out of the five sensual objects: eyes, what eyes can see, what ears can hear. The eyes can see beautiful things, ears can hear musics, and then the music, songs, and so forth, and the nose, the smell, taste, body tactility. So all these, they are known as essential. The pleasure that you get out of these is known as essential pleasures. That they are like the salt water. You drink the salt water, it quenches your thirst temporarily. Again, the thirst increases. Thirst increases. So it is instead of helping us, it harms us. Sensual pleasures are like salt water. The more you partake of them, the more your craving will increase. And craving is on the in fact there is one story which says that which says that once a gentleman found a huge treasure, and then he said that I'm going to give this treasure to the poorest of the poor, the one who is the poorest in this kingdom. And the next day he gave it to the king. He gave it to the king. And everybody was amazed, surprised. You said that you're going to give it to the poorest of the person, but you gave it to the king, the richest of the person in the kingdom. And he said, no, poor in Vedic is not decided by physical, it's about mental. Mentally, you want more, you are poor. But the thing is that you don't get there's still vacuum left in which you feel that you don't get. I want more, I want more, I want more. So, and so this where the craving is there, the vacuum is left, vacuum of the poverty. So it says, sensual pleasures are like salt water. The more you partake meaning engage in them, the more your craving will increase. Craving increases, vacuum is more. When the vacuum is more, there is a poverty. So real poverty is not about the material things, it's about how you mind things. The more the craving, more poor we are. Therefore, this craving makes us poor. Therefore, when something arouses attachment, to abandon it immediately is a practice of a bodhisattva. So that, for example, like, I remember. But the question is that, for example, say, somebody who loves cheesecake or chocolate cake, or in men, what is more popular dish? Hasna? Momos. Let's say craving for momos. Momos. So this is something we need to contemplate. We need to think of it and say, finally, the Buddha's teachings is so beautiful in ways that it does not. Of course, there's the certain area where we need to be really careful. Otherwise, on a little, say, if you get into the Dharma, practice it well, to the best you can, then you reach a certain point where you don't have to force yourself. These things will happen, Dharma virtues will happen more naturally. But initially, yes, we have to create some boundaries, rules, regulations that will be very helpful. Otherwise, at a certain point, then you see that is what naturally occurs. So this is something that we need to contemplate on. The Buddha taught what is known as the four mindfulnesses. The four mindfulnesses, Tembashi, Temba four mindfulnesses, Temba Nyershashi. The first one is known as the mindfulness of the body. The mindfulness of the body. Mindfulness of the body. Then mindfulness of the feeling. Then mindfulness of the mind. Finally, mindfulness of the phenomena. First, mindfulness of the body. Mindfulness of the feeling. Mindfulness of the mind, and mindfulness of phenomena. Okay, first one, mindfulness of body. Verse number 2, mindfulness of feelings. Number 3, mindfulness of mind. Number 4, mindfulness of phenomena. Very good. Okay, these are the 4 mindfulnesses Buddha taught. And with respect to this, they say, mindfulness, to be always mindful of your body, mindful of your feelings, mindful of your mind, mindful of the phenomena with which you interact. Be mindful of them. How to be mindful of them? This is one question. So Buddha taught, with the body, be always mindful that the body is impure. Body as impure, not clean. Body as impure, number 1. Then the verse next, mindfulness of feeling. Mindfulness feeling, be mindful that our feelings are of suffering nature. Feelings are of suffering nature. Feelings are of suffering nature, number 2. Then number 3, mindfulness of mind. The mind as impermanent. Mind is impermanent. Mind is changing. Momentarily, mind is changing. And finally, mindfulness of the phenomena. The phenomena as selfless nature, as empty of selfhood or empty of true existence, empty of true existence, or empty of selfless nature. The mindfulness of the phenomena as selfless nature. In bracket you can write emptiness of true existence. Okay, so this we can relate in one way. Arya Asanga. Arya Asanga, or Arya Asanga in Tibetan. Arya Asanga in Tibetan, anyone? Arya Sangha. Oh yes. Okay, I was expecting from the Anilas. Now Sangila seems more learned. Thank you, Sangila. Arya means Pakpa. In Tibetan, Arya means Pakpa, and Asanga is the Tokme, Papa Tome. Thank you, Sangila. Papa Tome. And Papa Tome, Arya Sangha explained this in an extremely sophisticated way or intricate way in the numerous forms. So one thing how Arya Sangha explained, I'm going to share with you here. So, let's say that the momos, let's say our craving for momos or cheesecake or whatever. So and then we can apply this to anything else. Anything else you can apply this later on. First let's say momo. So when you just by seeing the momos, say if you do not get a chance to eat momo for the last 6 months, if you don't get a chance to eat momo for the last 6 months, and suddenly somebody brings momo's not for you, for somebody else, and then with vapor, hot, then your mouth waters. So that is, what is that? The momo, is it what? That is a visual body, the body means physical form. So first they say the mindfulness of the body. Okay, physical form. We feel attached to the momo's physical form. You see that just by seeing. You do not even smell it yet. No, but just by seeing it, your mouth waters. This is craving for the visual momo. One. What is next? Mindfulness of body. Actually, what you want is you want to eat it. Eat it and the feeling, good taste, feeling. You attach to the feeling. You attach to the feeling, not to the. Actually, the moment is not the reason. I'll explain you later. But these are things that we need to contemplate on. The feelings, you are actually attached to the feelings. Number 2. And then with the feelings, we see that even the feelings, they are not reliable. The feelings, they are not necessarily coming from the momos. They are coming from somewhere else. We have to check where it is coming from. The feeling, pleasant feeling, by eating the momos. And some people would say, for example, I remember when I was younger, in my younger days, when I was like 16, 17, okay, unless you were 16. So when I was, I think 17, I remember when I was in a Tibetan settlement in my aunt's place, and the visitors come to their family friends, they come to visit, and someone was saying that my aunt served tea, and the gentleman asked, "Don't you have the sour liquid?" You understand what I'm saying? Don't you have the sour liquid? Huh? Wine. You get it? Don't have wine. So I don't know what that taste is like. Is it a little sour? What's the wine like? Wine taste. Parak, no experience. Oh, no experience, I know. Parak, wine no taste. Huh? David? No taste. Never. Okay. Huh? Different tastes. Okay. Let's say, so this Tibetan gentleman said they don't have a liquid, they don't have the sour liquid, indicating not directly saying wine, actually saying don't have wine, white tea. You're getting it? Okay. I don't want tea, I want wine. This is what he's saying. Don't have a sour liquid. Okay. So look, this is where we feel attached to the object, and then actually it is the taste. Actually, it's the taste that we are attached to. And we really need to check where this taste is coming from. Is it from the liquid, from the wine, from the momos, or from where? This is something that we need to examine. Number two. Then see that even this taste is actually felt by who experiences taste? Your mind experiences it. Yes? Your mind experiences it. Say, even if you're fast asleep and somebody puts a momo in your mouth, right? You're deep sleep, you will not taste it. So your mind is not responding to that. So actually it is the mind. So first, visual object, then the feeling, the taste, and then comes to the mind. And who is experiencing, whose mind? My mind, my I. I is there. So look, there are the four things: the body, the feeling, the mind, and the phenomena. Phenomena mean the phenomena here. Phenomena can relate to many things. In this context, the phenomena refers to one of the ways by which to understand it is the self-I. So okay, listen. Now let's explore say how many like momos? Let us be very honest. Veg or non-veg? Hopefully veg. Right, all the anilas, I hope veg momos, right? Veg momos, non-veg. Say veg. Veg momos, right? Very good, okay. Okay, veg momos. So let's say that and some people, they say that, why just veg momo? This is like grass, no meat, then it becomes like eating grass. People, some people so addicted to non-veg food, they said that it's like eating grass. So what's the fun in eating food? Okay, so basically it is not. There's a great merit in being vegetarian. And for that, personally would say that I always tell people, my nephews, my nieces, my friends, that if chicken is grown like potatoes, I'll always eat chicken. But this is not the case. Chicken, somebody has to give life. Somebody is going to be slit, which is going to be extremely painful. So therefore, I can't eat chicken. Not only chicken, any kind of meat, the fish, the lambs, any kind of meat, it's the sacrifice of somebody's life. This is so painful. And of course, I think during the age, when I was the age like 16, 17, yes, I was not in the first place. I was not getting even non-veg food, not getting. When you get, it's amazing fun. But now, to think more deeply, you're enjoying it at the cost of somebody's life, which is not fair. Which is not fair. So therefore, when I got the chance to cook on my own, then I changed to vegetarian. So before that, I had to depend on a common kitchen. So I cannot be too juicy. Nowadays, in many institutions, they have both options, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. It's amazing. And whereas during my times, no option. Whatever you get one option, only one option, that you take it, or you remain hungry. And then later on, when I started to cook on my own, when I was from my school, then I moved to the IBD after my high school. Okay, how many? They finished your class 12, please hands. Just finished class 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So they just me finish class 12, then I joined the Institute of Buddhist Didactics. So there also is a common kitchen, no choice. And then from there I moved to Debong Losar Monastery. So there, owner of this, the Rinpoche who started this Domalhagang, we are from the same monastery. And so there I started to cook on my own. So cook on my own is in my hand. So I turned to vegetarian. So of course, the food, of course, the facility is so poor. And when I come to teaching office holiness, then I meet with my relatives, and they see me so weak. They will say, "Dorji, no, don't be vegetarian. You look so weak. You take care of health." And then I was, forced to again go to non-veg. Again, when I go back to the monastery, again I become vegetarian. So this on and off. Then 2004, from there, clean vegetarian. Then nobody can say anything. In fact, one doctor, Tibetan doctor told me, is it a Tibetan doctor? Okay. One Tibetan doctor doing a very important gathering. Food was served, and the Tibetan doctor was just observing the food, everybody, and saw my food, vegetarian. And he said, Geshe, are you vegetarian? I said, yes. And the doctor said that, Geshe, it is good to have non-veg sometimes. I said, I'm the one who is promoting vegetarian. You understand what I'm saying? I said, I'm the one who is promoting vegetarian. I cannot take non-veg once in a while. It's very unfair. It's not true. What I say, I have to do it myself. If I don't do what I say, this is not correct. So I said, I'm the one who is promoting vegetarianism. I could not do that. I told the doctor. So I have the confidence at that point, because physically I'm stronger now. So those people who gradually change to vegetarian, what I would suggest is make sure that you don't neglect your health. Don't neglect your food, particularly B12, vitamin B12, and multivitamins or any supplements that you take. Make sure that you don't miss these supplements, particularly B12. B12 is something generally in natural course. It is found in the meat. It's not found in the vegetarian food, but there are amazingly good the B12 supplements, which is purely vegetarian, vegan. B12 supplements available now. It is very easy. And here in Arunachal, if there are some vegetarian, I think I'm not too sure if I brought 1 or 2 extra B12 supplements. If I'll be more than happy to share that with you. Okay. So there's a little bit of digression. I don't know why okay, yes, we're talking about the 4 mindfulnesses. So with this in mind, now the examining, this taste is coming from where? This, pleasant taste, the pleasure is coming from where? This is what we're analyzing. This is something we need to analyze. And then once you analyze it, you discover it, and initially you need to put little effort, then it becomes such a liberation. Okay, let's say the momos, physical appearance, it's so tempting, so luring, so tempting. And then the fun you eat it, then the pleasurable taste comes. This is the taste. This taste is coming from where? And we think it's coming from the momo. No. It's coming from inside you. It's not coming. Momo is the trigger. For example, okay, say, tell me where the sound is coming from. This sound is coming from where? From my fingers? What is it? What do you call it? From my knuckles or from the table? The sound. From the table, not the knuckles. But knuckles trigger the sound. Knuckles serve as the trigger to produce the sound from the table. For example, here is different sound. Here, different sound. So the trigger remains the same, but depending on the other object from where the sound is triggered. So we think that, say, my hand is like the momo, and the table is you and your Buddha nature, and the momo hits you, and the pleasant sound comes, delicious, and you think it's coming from the momo. It's not coming from the momo. It's coming from the table. It's coming from your Buddha nature. You're getting it? And how do you know this? How do I know this? It was when I was, I think about age 12. Age 12, when I was in school. And the school during the winter holidays. In Tawang, winter holidays, how long? In schools? 45 days. Okay. So all the students go to their families for the winter holidays, and those students who do not have any place to go, they stay in school. So I was one of them, and school will take these children to for a small picnic, overnight picnic along the river bank. It's a very small stream, not a river. small stream, and we sleep there. And I did not know that I was sick. Say, and then food were prepared, the best food, momos. And the senior students, they were preparing the momos with the staff. And I was, from distance, I could smell the momos, and it was just making me feel like vomiting. Usually we don't get momos. We get momos on Tibetan New Year and His Holiness' birthday and the October 23rd, which is the school's anniversary. On these three occasions we get momos. That's it. Otherwise we don't get momos. And then yes, plus once in a while, if there is the students were taken to some picnic, those students who do not have a place to go to, the family to go to. 4 occasions in a year, in 365 days, only 4 times you can have momos. And that time, actually we were all craving for the momos. There's all the small children were craving for the momos. But that time, I just feel like vomiting. I feel nausea. And I was just wondering why. I like momo so much. But today, just the smell of the momo makes me throw up. So I was wondering. And then the bell rang. All the children now come to have the momos, lunch. And I did not go. I didn't go. And then I came to know that some children, they bring momos plus the orange. So orange, I feel like eating. So I went there to get the orange, and I did not take the momos. So what I'm saying is that this momo now making me throw up. Which means that momo, if I eat it, do you think that I'll feel the pleasant feeling? No. So momo per se does not give you the pleasant feeling. It's just your physiological reactions, and that the momo serves as a trigger like this. The knuckle banging against the table, then the sound is triggered. Actually, the sound is coming from the table, not from the knuckles. So this happiness, the pleasure, is actually coming from within your, say today, the modern science will call it is that endorphin, oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine, the flow of these hormones. So they trigger the pleasant feeling. And even the hormones, they themselves are not pleasant feeling. Hormones, they trigger the pleasant feelings. So it's not actually the momos. Actually, it's the trigger of some hormones within a body. And even these trigger the momos, the hormones, flow of the hormones, if they themselves are not the real feeling of the pleasure, it's actually from the inside Buddha nature. From there, something is being triggered. It's a mental state. It's a mental state. The pleasure is a mental state. It's not a pure physical state. It's a mental state. It's a pure physical state. Then you sleep, and then the momos touch your mouth. Still, you should feel the joy. You don't feel anything. So it's a mental state. So these physical activities, they activate the mental. They invoke the mental activities of the pleasant feeling. So from this, we see that in actuality, if we analyze too well, we see that this is all coming from the Buddha energy inside, not from outside. If you realize this, then our attachment to the external objects will slowly calm down. This is very, very, very helpful practice. Otherwise, we become so dependent on the external factors. When the external factors are not there, you feel so lonely, boring, you feel so bored, and you feel so lonely, and then all these horrible thoughts are coming in your mind. So therefore, seeing that the real treasure is coming from inside, nothing from outside. So therefore, seeking outside will automatically stop. And then, okay, let's say that the momo craving for the body, physical body. Then the taste, craving for the feeling. Actually, it's not the physical body, but you crave for the taste. And this taste, you think is coming from the momos. So therefore, you felt attached to the momos. So from the momos, you go to the taste. From the taste, you go to the mind. The mind, which experiences that. If the mind doesn't, for example, in my case, as a little boy, when he's smelling the momos, instead of pleasant feeling, the mind rejects. The mind rejected that. So, it's the mind. Even the mind, whose mind? My mind, the person. So somebody else enjoying it, there's no fun for you. But I So this I is empty of, is this I is also like dream. When you see that, now all forms of the sources of attachment dissolves. So you're free from the craving. When the craving is not there, vacuum is gone. Vacuum is gone. Vacuum is a problem. Creating vacuum. Oh, I want this, I want that. There's a vacuum left there. Vacuum meaning, I want this, I do not get it. I want this, I do not get it. Which did not get it, that's vacuum. When the vacuum is gone, that is a fulfillment. That is the complete fulfillment. When you see that, okay, the momos, the taste, the mind, and the person who experiences happiness or pleasure, if this person is like a dream, then the base of attachment all gone. Finally, all these are happening because of your attachment to the self. We're attached to self. Just to make this, because you are attached to yourself, so you want everything good for the self. You want to get away from the bad things. So this is where this self you see as dreamlike, then all the craving stops. But it's not that easy. For example, say here we all speak English, we all understand English, and let's say that English, whatever English that you have, versus Shakespearean English, which do you prefer? If there's a choice, Tushar, of course Shakespearean English. Okay, Srinbama, Shakespearean English. Yes, but to get to that level, you have to first learn A, B, C, D, E, F. You're getting it? Once you learn that A, B, C, D, then what do you have learned? A for apple, B for ball, C for compassion. Yesterday, I just went to the school, C for compassion. It's very different. This is a very advanced school. Other schools, C for cat. In Ajahn school, C for compassion. And I for integrity. A for affection. No, A for affection in the school. In the Manjari school is altruism. In the Losar Migjay is A for affection. Beautiful, amazing. B for blessings, amazing, right? Otherwise, B for ball. What is this? So this is how we have to learn. You're getting it? You have to keep improving our language, and finally then we can expect to reach the level of Shakespearean English. Likewise, to see that self is empty of, the self is like a dream. To reach to that level, it is like reaching the Shakespearean English. For that matter, we would first go through seeing the momo as actually the trigger is not the real taste. Real taste, of course, it triggers the feeling inside. Even this feeling, is purely physical. It's not coming from the momos. It's coming from the pure something from inside. It's the flow of the hormones, the taste buds. The taste buds, they play a great role. Say, when I was young, apples, just by seeing the apple and tasting, the taste is so different from what the most amazing apples that you can see today. No taste at all. Anything, no taste in those days, because the taste bud was so good that you eat anything is so delicious. Where the facilities are so less, then your taste buds so young, the taste buds so good. So look, these are the factors. The external food does not really determine whether the taste is actually coming or not coming. So what I'm saying is that this, if we can examine, that the taste is not really coming from the momos, not even the flow of the hormones, not even the taste buds. Taste buds, they trigger the mental activity of the feeling. And mental activity of feeling is what the mind feels it. If this mind is impermanent in nature, and the person who possesses this mind is also empty of true existence. If you think of each of these steps, then you see that this amazing, the vacuum is removed. The vacuum craving, the desire. Desire means you desire something and still you do not get something. There's an empty vacuum left there. That vacuum is gone. When this is gone, this is oftentimes the Buddha referred to as the liberation. You are liberated from the craving. Craving is the poverty. We feel the thirst. We feel the thirst. That you are craving to quench the thirst. This is craving. This is disease. This is illness. Okay. So one time, during a conference, during a public talk in Delhi University, after the public talk, so we had, during the lunchtime, there was some lady professor, and all the professors, we were all having lunch together. And after lunch, there was what is that, cakes, the desserts. And I did not take the dessert. And there was one lady professor who went to take the dessert and sat next to me. And people around me. And then she said, "You're not taking the dessert, you're not." I said, "No." And she said, "Oh, it's very good, the cake." I said, "No." See, if you don't say they put a stop to yourself, then it'll never end. There are good things, so many good things, endless good things, and you will never get time to really do something more meaningful. And then she said, I don't want to really intrude in what they do. But then she said that, "But what's the problem? You can take the job. It's very good. It's nice." I said that this nicety that you feel is not coming from the cake. It's coming from inside. It's not from the cake. Because when you're sick, the same cake will not give you joy. And she said, "That's very true. In fact, I have the problem of, when I see this, I cannot resist myself from not having it. So I can't resist it. I have to take it," she said. And she said that because of this, then I become fat. She said it, of the weight gain problem. So you're very true. And I said that this is not coming from you are not attached to the cake. You are attached to the pleasant taste. This taste is not coming from the chocolate. It's not coming from the cake. It's coming from within. If you're sick, you will not feel the same taste. It's the same chocolate. It's the same cake, but the taste is different. So she said that, "Okay, this is something which I have to learn," she said. Okay, so these are things that we need to contemplate. Okay, now, 21, page 144. Sensual pleasures are like salt water. The more you partake of them, the more your craving will increase. Craving meaning attachment. The more your attachment will increase. Therefore, when something arouses attachment, to abandon it immediately is the practice of a bodhisattva. Then next is about emptiness. All appearances are your own mind. And mind itself primordially transcends. Primordial means since beginning. Since beginningless time. Primordial means since beginningless time, transcends all mental fabrications. The mind itself, since primordially the mind is empty of to existence. Knowing this and remain free from apprehending the signs of subject and object. Signs meaning, okay, let's say that if you go to Bumdila and if you don't know the road, then you drive and then you see signboards. Signboard says Bumdila 20 kilometers. So that is known as, what is that board? What do you call that? Signboard. So what is the work of that signboard? Sri Pamela is saying to give us directions, right? But it just says, it's just a board, right? Just a board saying 20 kilometers, Bomdila 20 kilometers. Does it give direction? It's just, it can be put in two different ways. One with the arrow, right? Then it gives direction, plus the information that it is 20 kilometers away from where you are now. So it gives two information. One is the direction, is one information, and other is distance. Very good. So that is more known as a signboard. And what is this? Anila, what is this? Flower. How do you know that? Okay. What sign is there? Look, Anila, What's your name, Annie? Tinsuchumla. And Tinsuchumla. Let's say, okay, and there's no need. Okay, no need. Okay, so under Tinsuchumla, let's say that you know that, now I'm 20 kilometers away from Bomdila because of this board. So this board is known as sign board. Sign means indicator. So what is the indicator here? What is the sign here to say that I'm the flower? So you know that this is a flower, right? So what is the indicator there? This particular shape, particular color, particular shape. You agree? Likewise, I'm a human being. This is a flower. This is not a human being. I'm a flower. How do you distinguish the two? There's a sign there to say that I'm a human being. There's a sign there to say this is a flower. So there are some indicators there. This is known as a sign. So in the dream, someone picks up flower. And what is this? You will say flower in the dream. So there's a sign there. In the dream, this food is good. Idli water is good. Idli water. Yesterday's idli water, right? It's very delicious, very good. Yes, enjoyed? The nuns? No. You did not get a chance. Okay. Unfortunate. Oh. Mr. Singh, did you get a chance to enjoy that? Idli water. Last night. Yes, very good. Okay. Over there, Chandrasekharji, Padmaji, and Sneha, who brought all the Hyderabad team. Okay, so what I'm saying is that in the dream, you see that, this flower, this is the idli vada, and this is table, this beautiful sunshine, this is the forest there, and so forth. You wake up, all these signs that you see dissolve. Okay, so it says that number 22, all appearances are your own mind. Whatever appears, they are all, mind is subject object. Mind is subject object. Subject. So now look, what we said is that the last few days, we learned that everything is subjective. Now it says, 22, all appearances are your own mind. Your own mind meaning subjective. You're getting it? Nothing objective. And mind itself, even this mind is also empty of true existence. Even this mind itself primarily transcends all mental fabrication meaning that mind to be objectively real. It is empty of, transcends meaning it is not. It is not objectively real mind. Mental fabrication is objective real mind. It's not meant the objectively existent mind. Knowing this, and to remain free from apprehending signs of subject and object. This is object. In the dream you say, this is flower, and this is my mind seeing this flower. In the dream you will make the distinction, subject, object. Yes? Okay, you pick up something. Show that to me. Okay, Anla picks up pencil, and Sirimbamla picks up the small booklet, and Vaishaliji picks up 84,000 card. Okay, most of they picks up pen and others. Okay, thermos. Good, pick up something. Show that to me. Now look at it. And the specs. Look at it yourself. Look at it. How does the object appear to you? Where's the object? There. Where's the subject? Hey, where's the subject? Here. Object is there, subject is there. You see two things. This is known as duality. When you wake up, these two things dissolve. When you wake up, the dream flower dissolves. So that the subject-object duality dissolves. The science of subject and object, the last line. The science of subject-object is free from apprehending. So, which is better? To see the dream flower and your mind as two different things in the dream? Or you wake up to say that dream flower is just not really there, it's my mental projection. Which is better? This is biggie? To wake up is better. How many agree with this biggie reasons? To wake up is better rather than to say in the dream, this flower, this is me, she's so good, she's so bad, he's so good, he's so bad, the weather is so good, 2 days ago the weather is so foggy, it's not good. So these all distinctions create arouse emotions within, involuntary emotions within us. You wake up, you're freed from all these. So it says, knowing this and to remain free from apprehending the signs of subject objects is the practice of a bodhisattva. Okay, if I were to tell you what is a real problem, say in the dream, say you have the ghost in the dream ghost chasing you, and Allah with the mask, what's your name? Tenzin Shambhala. Let's say each one of us, a dream ghost is chasing you in the dream, and you're so scared, and you don't want this fear. So this fear, say, who is responsible for this fear? What factor is responsible for this fear? What triggered this fear? Okay, people can come up with different answers. Okay, where lies the problem? You don't want the fear, but there's a fear. The problem, the fear is there. Where lies what triggered this problem? Anyone? Shwetaji? The mind triggered the fear. How?
Reacting to whatever is present, whatever makes us fearful, it is the mind that sees.
Mind reacted to it. Okay, let's not forget it. Mind, the dream ghost is chasing you, and then you reacted, right? Sometimes we're too scared that we jump to the ghost, right? When the cat, when the dog barks at you, some people too scared, they jump at the dog rather than run away. Some people run away, some people jump, you react. That's a problem. Anyone else? Okay, Tenzin. Okay, please don't jump to this conclusion. The dream, I'm talking about the regular dream.
That's what it is. But
Yes, your answer is perfectly correct. In a regular sense, anyone? Raise your hands. Kamalji. Don't worry. He said it's going to be the next level. I want to focus on the current level. Right? A for apple, not for Shakespearean English. This Nubala is touching on the Shakespearean English. Okay. Anyone else? Where lies the problem? The Sahil.
The discrepancy between appearance and reality.
Oh, that's interesting. Discrepancy between appearance and reality. What is that discrepancy?
What we see is not what it is.
Okay, just tell me directly. Say, what appears is, it appears as a real ghost.
Yeah.
And the reality is,
It's
no
a
real
dream
ghost. No ghost. Very good. Okay, now we got two answers. One is that we react. That's a problem. And number two is that there's a discrepancy between the appearance and reality. That's a problem. Two. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes, Manjriji.
My response is a little more basic.
Closer.
In the dream, I fear the ghost because I fear I am under threat by the ghost.
A sense of I. Okay, sense of very strong I. That is the problem. That triggered the fear. Okay, good. Anyone else? Hey, Anilas, what do you think is the problem? Hey, Anila, third one. Anila's name? Tenzin Nodrila. What do you think is the problem?
My answer was same as that. Mind reacts so fast that we cannot understand what is real and what is illusion.
Okay, in the dream, you cannot see the difference between the illusion and reality.
Yes.
So that's a problem. Very good. Very good. Okay, we got many good answers. Anyone else? Anyone else say yes? Makaranji. Here.
Lack of awareness.
Lack of awareness, I'm sure. Oh, there's a ghost there. I'm aware there's a ghost there. Active awareness is there. Not lack of. Lack of proper awareness. You see what he's saying? A lack of proper awareness. It's not a proper awareness.
yes.
Right? Oh, there's a ghost there. This is awareness, but it's not a proper awareness.
Yes.
So lack of proper awareness. Anyone else? Yes.
Ishla, seeing the dream as real is the problem.
Seeing the dream as real is a problem. Seeing the dream is real problem. Very good. Anyone else? Okay. Anila? Yeah. And this beginner is next. What's your name, Anila? This is Yudila. Give me an answer. What do you think? Yes. No? Okay. This Biggie? No? Okay. The three Anilas behind? Okay. So let's see. In fact, Sneha? No? Okay, Parag? Huh? Okay, so it seems like maybe most of you somehow your answers tally with the one of the answers given by the earlier people. Okay, so before I respond to each one of the answers, let me just share with you this very important anecdote. Okay, we all have experience of dreams. Raise hands. We have dreams, good dreams, bad dreams. Mr. Singh? Yes? Okay. My next question. Tell me, the dream, they say you fall asleep and the dream suddenly came, or what's the process like? Anyone? What is the mechanism of the dream coming into being? Anyone? Huh? Okay, Sangyala is saying when you go to after deep sleep, then the dream comes. How did it come? Suddenly or slowly? Slowly, how does it come? Did you know the problem? Do you remember the process? Okay. Anyone else? David.
It doesn't come immediately after falling asleep. You have to sleep for some time. It comes, in fact, towards the end.
Okay, towards the end.
Yeah.
Some people have a dream instantly. Some people, they dream, there's so much fear, they wake up, they open the eyes, again close the eyes, again the dream come back very fast. Which means David has no experience of that. Okay, anyone else? Okay, Sahil.
It's when we go from the conscious mind to the unconscious mind.
So what's the process like?
I don't know what the process is like.
Okay, this is Lumla. Mike.
First, you fall asleep, then you project the dream. You project the dream. Then
What's the process like?
you fall asleep,
Sleep.
and then the mind projects the dream.
How was the process?
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
First process
What's
is,
the process of the projection?
so you project the dream, number one. Number two, you forgot that you projected the dream. Number three, you think the dream
Do
is
you
real.
know your projected dream?
No, I don't. That's what I'm
This is
saying.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, this is why. Experientially, what was the process like?
Oh, well, I fall asleep,
Then-
and I project the dream.
No, is it experience? You remember that? Oh, now I'm creating the dream.
No, I don't know.
This is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I'm ignorant of this fact.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, do you know did you ever experience this mechanism, how the dream comes into being? This is extremely important thing. You're getting it? Say, the point is that people talk about dream yoga and so forth, sleep yoga, dream yoga and so forth. So dream, sleep, they are very subtle state of a mind. At the moment, waking state, do you know you are in this Domalakang? Do you know that you are in Domalakang now? Yes, this is the awareness, proper awareness that you are in. So there you are aware. When your mind is gross, you are aware. When your mind becomes subtler, then depending on how trained you are. Some people who are so trained that they know that as you fall asleep, you know that now you are falling asleep. You know now the dream is being formed. You know that. That comes if you are trained. So for that we need training. So training, is there some special training? And then give you some teachings, blessings, and then you fall asleep, then you dream. No, it's impossible. The training should be like A for apple, B for ball. How many times you have to recite it? Minimum 100 times. You're getting it? For a whole 1 year, 2 years, you have to recite it. Only then gradually you can have the Shakespeare in English. Not like in 2 days, then you pick up the Shakespeare in English. Impossible. So therefore, the point is that these require a lot of training. For example, let's say that when you walk, you see tiny insects on the road, you make sure that you pick them up, put them in a place. For example, when you're cooking food, hey Anilas, do you have to cook food? You have to cook food? Okay, you cook the rice, you boil the vegetables, and the hot water you put in the sink directly. And how many billions and trillions of tiny worms are there in the sink? They all will be killed. Be mindful. Be mindful. Okay, I should not put this hot water directly in the sink because so many worms will be killed. In the Tawang, it's very easy. The temperature is very cool, pleasant, cool. You keep it outside for some time. It'll cool down. Let it become lukewarm and then drain it. So these are the mindfulnesses that we need to remember. Say, if there's a dog there, stray dog there, and if you have to go close by, then the dog may feel fear. Sensing that, oh, I should not create fear in this dog. I should go other way, so that dog will feel the peace of mind. You're getting it? These are the mindfulness that we need to create. With these mindful nuances, very subtle nuances of the mindfulness you create. For example, let's say that there are two students from the same class, and they did a performance the day before, and the student A did so good performance, and you meet the person, student A and B, and tell student, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing, not at all talking anything about the person B, student B. And you actually offended the student B, saying that, oh, without you, your school is your class is nothing. You made this school, your class really shine. If this is what we do, in a way, you are saying that the student B, who's just next to your eyes, is a hopeless student. You are actually embarrassing the child. These are the insensibilities, but not sensitive. Not being sensitive to the other's feelings. So that we should be extremely trained in these. With these trainings, then your mind will be trained to see the subtler and subtler version of your mind. And gradually, you fall asleep, you can see how the dream is forming. You can know that. So, outside you do anything, you drink, and then particularly you say, the indulgence into anything, just go into indulgence, which is a very active state of mental, the undisciplined mental state. Go into indulgence, and then expecting dream yoga is just illusion. Not even learning A for apple, B for ball, and think of acquiring Shakespeare in English. It's impossible. So therefore, these are things that we need to remember, to be mindful. The one thing, if possible, for example, some people, they say, okay, I cannot be vegetarian, but on the sacred days, on the holy days, sacred days, I refrain from taking the non-veg. Or some people say that I don't cook anything, vegetarian, non-veg food in my house, but I eat outside. And some people say I stop eating fish, chicken, and so forth, but I do eat the other the things. And then some people say that during the Sagadava month, the Vesak month, I refrain from eating non-veg. Look, people are taking steps. These are so precious, so precious. So these are steps that we have to take. Okay, with this mind, let's continue reading. 23. When you encounter objects that please your mind, like rainbows in the summer season, though they seem beautiful, not to view them as real and to give up attachment to them is the practice of a bodhisattva. Okay, when you encounter with things which are very pleasant, which look so pleasant, they please your mind, just view them like a rainbow. Say, going inside, there's nothing really there. It's just like a rainbow, so shallow, hollow, looks beautiful, but when you go there, there's nothing really there. For example, let's say that Think of this is where the Buddha's teachings on the four seals, all composite things impermanent. Then all contaminated things are of suffering nature. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Okay, these 4 lines. Contemplating these 4 lines will make our mind extremely stable and grounded, not easily being flickered, not easily being affected by external factors, not just jump into indulgence. So, this is where all composite, even this also impermanent. Think about this would be very, very, very helpful. And for us, they say, for all of us, we have our own experience, life experience. For example, like I remember in my place in Delhi, there's a whole town, the marketplace, Lashvanagar, and there's particularly one place, one shop where the bags are being sold. What is that? The bags, and my bag when traveling, it was broken, so I had to go to buy a new one. So I went to that shop, and I couldn't look at the shop, and the shop is very standard shop. It's no more there, and in my mind, I start to feel some kind of hollow feeling, impermanence. Even this shop, which seems to be run by a very standard owner, and now gone, is gone. Impermanence. And on the one hand, we naturally feel a little kind of the pain, unease, pain, mental disturbance. Oh, what is this impermanence? On the other hand, remember that this is what the Buddha taught. All composite things impermanent. So deep here, we are together here, and then who will be alive next year? We never know. Who will be alive 2 days later, 2 years later, or like 10 years later, 20 years later, who are alive? We never know. We never know. So the point is that think on these lines which the Buddha wrote, all composite things impermanent, and all contaminated things suffering nature. Where the things are contaminated, then the more you go into this, more suffering there are. For example, in the families, if the family members are too close, there's a problem. If the family members they are not too close, there's a problem. If family members they don't love each other, there's a problem. How many agree with me? In a sense, if the family members they don't love each other, the morning you have to see somebody who you don't love, right? And it's so horrifying for you. And if you're too close, there's a problem. What's the problem? When you lose the other person, when that person is sick, the pain is so acute. This is samsara. But the reality is that now we have to face it in such a way that your journey is not disrupted. Your spiritual journey of unveiling your Buddha nature, the unraveling the Buddha nature within you. As long as this journey is not disrupted, then this is samsara. We flow like this and make sure that your journey is not compromised. Your journey of spirituality is not compromised. You become more and more kind person. You become more and more sensible person. Your happiness keeps growing. If that happens, that's good enough. Otherwise, you don't expect perfection in samsara. Say, don't expect that one day, for example, the young ones, your youth, and you see that there's somebody who's younger than you. And that person will see you as old. So your youth is gone. The wealth, there's also somebody who's richer than you. And again, you see that there's a jealousy there. And then with the power, there's always somebody who's more powerful than you. Again, also that your power seems so shaky. For example, the political authorities, when the election is gone, you lose the election. Finish, you drop. So even the power is not really trustworthy. Look at all these big people in the past. Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan. Where are they? Gone. So this is impermanence. Contemplate on these points, then your mind, your life will be extremely beautiful and calm. You can manage your life very easily. Small problems happen, they will not disturb your mind. Okay. 23. When you encounter the objects that please your mind, like rainbows, remember them, they're like rainbows. Say, for example, so this flower is so beautiful. This bouquet of flowers, so beautiful. But They're like rainbows. They're like rainbows. Look at this. This is so beautiful. But they're like rainbows in ways that you go deeper into it, you just see the cells. For example, like my hand. My hand is not so cute. But when I was 7 years old, it used to be very cute. Even the 7 years old hand, which looks otherwise so cute, if you look at through electron microscope, the cuteness that I see is illusion. If you look at through electron microscope, first what you see is you see the cracks, like the dry mud. When the mud dries, what happens? Cracks happen. So under electron microscope, you see the cracks. You will not see the cute. So this cute is just illusion, like a rainbow. You will see the cracks. And you further zoom in, within the cracks, you see what are these cracks? These cracks are the cell membrane. These cracks are the cell membrane, the partition between two cells. These are the cracks. And this cell membrane, you again zoom in, you will see the nucleus. The nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell membrane. You go into the nucleus, you will see the chromosomes. And the chromosomes, they are so repulsive to look at. Like striped, brownish striped snakes structure. It's not at all beautiful. Where is this beautiful sound, this flower? It's like a rainbow. It just appears like this, but you go, the rainbow appears. Okay, if you usually where the rainbow forms, which direction? Hey, Anilas, outsiders don't give the answers. Or the Shuragandela or the or Jigmela. Jigmeshurla. Where does the rainbow form? East, west, north, south. Any idea? Rainbow. Where the rainbows are formed. No idea? Okay. Achurasirondula. Yes. Hasna.
When small rain showers came, generally we see rainbows here.
Here where?
Which shines in
East, west, north, south.
In the mountains.
On the mountains.
Nearby.
Okay, let's say on the mountains a rainbow is found. And then let's say okay, let's say Anla, what's your name? Okay, let's say Antesi Hagila, when she was 4 years old. Were you 4 years old once upon a time? Yes, you were 4 years old. Let's say that she was 4 years old, and then she said, please take me there, rainbow's there. Take me there, she'll say this. And how many of you will take this Hagila there? To the where the rainbow is? Hey, Dr. La, no? You'll not take, not kind. Hey, shut up. Right? This is like, shut up. Okay. Who? David. Okay. David, you like to take her. Okay. If anybody takes this Hagila to where the rainbow appears, there's also a small child. But David says that to make her not sad, you will take her there. And now where's the rainbow? Rainbow is seen only from distance. Nearby you will not see this. She teaches rainbow, the mechanism of rainbow, and the reality nature of the rainbow to this Nizragila when she was 4 years old. Right? Okay, David, thank you. For others who take the child to rainbow, you're also a small child. Right? You think that there's a rainbow there. So why? As you go closer to rainbow is not there. It just disappears. It is just the process, a process of water vapors. As Hasna said, water vapors of the drizzles, they serve as a prism. And the light rays hit in a particular direction. And then the same light is split into 7 colors. It appears as a rainbow. But if you go closer, it's not really there. You require a particular distance to see that. If you don't have the distance, these factors are missing. It's not really there. So we see that this beautiful flower, this is also like rainbow. You go inside closer, you see that it disappears. Okay. 23. When you encounter objects that please your mind, like rainbows in the summer season, though they seem beautiful, not to view them as real and to give up attachment to them is a practice of Bodhisattva. All suffering. So this is when you see unpleasant things, no, pleasant things. Now when you see unpleasant things, what should you do? All suffering is like the death of a child in a dream. Unpleasant things are like the death of a child that happens in a dream. To take such delusive appearances as true, how exhausting. If you can really think like this, can you give an example of a painful experience? Anyone? Can you give an example of painful experience? Anyone? Painful experience? No one. Huh? Where? Oh, yes. Taraji.
Losing my father.
Losing one's father. Okay, this is very, very, very painful. Yes. And I'm very fortunate to have met Taraji's father in his the lawyer's cabin. Yes. I was very fortunate to have met Taraji's father there. But I know Taraji way many years ago. So let's losing a father. And just if you can think like this, initially it can be a little scary, but long run it's going to be extremely healing. The father, your father, think of your father, my father, think of parents. They are made of 6 elements. You agree? Element earth, water, fire, space, and consciousness. The person just made of these six elements. And they say the body that you see as my father's body, this is nothing but made of cells. And cells are nothing but made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. It's just a pool of atoms. If you look through the electron microscope, you just see a pool of atoms. There's nothing there as my father's body. And likewise, then the element of earth, fire, the body heat, water, the blood, air, the air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. So they're all made of molecules. And that's it. On that atomic level, we see that what you identify as a father, what you identify as a mother, it all disappears. It makes no sense. Sometimes do that. Initially, you may feel a little fear. If it does happen, don't worry. Don't be too scared. That if you do get this fear, it is extremely precious, because you practice more and more, then the fear will be replaced by extremely tranquil feeling, which we have never experienced before. And this will help us to deal with the difficult situations very comfortably. So, the loss of near and dear ones, your love and affection will be there, but the pain will subside. Okay, I'll give you some options. Okay, how many you feel so painful to lose somebody who's so dear to you, like what Taraji shared, to lose his father? How many feel so pain? Okay, how many of you had that experience, to have lost somebody who's very near to you? Raise hands. Sonam also, you had the experience? Yes. Okay. How many of you never had that experience? Raise hands, except for Parag. Parag had no experience. Your experience? Oh, when was it happen? Maybe 2 days ago? Because, last year when we met, he said that I don't know what his problem. So now, no problem started to come. Okay, so what I'm saying is that when that happens, when that pain happens, okay, who likes to have this pain? Raise hands. No one. Who doesn't like to have this pain? Raise hands. Okay, let me qualify like this. This pain is so excruciatingly great, excruciatingly painful, so agonizing. I don't want this pain forever. Raise hands. Okay, good. Now, if you don't want that, I'll give you some choices. The first choice is so much love and affection and so much pain together. This is one choice. Number 2, no pain, no gain. Right? Right. No love and no pain. Option 2. Option 3, so much for love, no pain. Okay, choose one. I'm not saying it's possible, not possible. Don't think about this. It's not possible. Don't talk about this. You getting it? Possible, not possible, come later. First, if any of these three things are a possibility, tell me which would you choose? Which one? Third one. Okay, how many would go for third one? Raise hands. Okay. Everybody wants the third one. What's the third one? Hey, Anila, what's your name? Anila means Tinsi Yanka. Tinsi Yanka. Tinsi Yanka, what is the third one? So much love, no pain. So much love, no pain. Okay. Okay. Tushar, which do you want? Third one. What is the third one? What about the first one? First one is nice. What is the first one? First one, so much pain, but so much love, so much pain. Okay. So, of the three, we all opted for number 3. So much love, no pain. Okay. And yes, I understand it. When I was 4 years old, no, 5 years old, when I lost my mother, it was acutely painful. I was just 5 years old. I still remember that it's very traumatic, extremely traumatic. So much pain. Okay. So of the 3, we want the third one. And the third one, is it possible? Answer is yes. Answer is yes. So, say, the pain on the one hand and the love on the other hand, these two seem as go together. But in reality, for ordinary people, these two go together. Where there's a love, there's a pain. Where there's love, there's a pain. Where there's no love, there's no pain. No pain, no gain. And the third one is not what happens to ordinary people. So, ordinary people doesn't mean that we are ordinary beings. Now we have no chance, we are ordinary beings. No. Even the ordinary person can become evolved person. You have the Buddha nature. Everyone has Buddha nature. Not only the Buddhist. Buddha doesn't mean Buddhism. Buddha means awakened state of awakening. Even before the Buddha Shakyamuni, Buddha came on this planet Earth 2,500 years ago. Even before that, Homo sapiens, human beings, so-called Homo sapiens, existed since 0.3 million years ago. Which means the Buddha Shakyamuni is way yet to be born. 0.3 means 30,000 300,000 years. 300,000 years, the Homo sapiens. And before that, what is that? Neanderthal and so forth, like our ancestors. So, even they had the Buddha nature. Everybody had the Buddha nature, whether you're Buddhists, Muslims, Jains, Hindus, Christians, the Sikhs, or the Parsis, non-believers, everyone has the seed of perfection. Everybody has it. So, with this seed, what happens is that the true nature, when all the defilements are removed, what happens is that it manifests true nature, where it radiates with infinite love and affection, infinite joy. At the same time, pain is not there. How not there? Is because, say, emptiness. Study of emptiness. Emptiness, and what's the other side? Dependent origination. We said emptiness equals dependent origination, and dependent origin equals the middle way. Therefore, emptiness equals the middle way. Very good. So, like say, emptiness and dependent origination, they are like the two sides of the same coin. So one side is emptiness, and the other side is dependent origination. All our pains, say you love somebody so much, a mother loves the child so much, and to see the child died is so much pain on the part of the mother. So, you remember the story that at the time of the Buddha, that a mother lost her newborn, and the mother was carrying the dead body of the child, newborn, to every way, crying, screaming, please revive my child. Went to all forms of gurus, saints, nobody could help her. Then finally somebody says that, go to Buddha Gautama, Gautama the Buddha. Go to him, he can help you. Then she went there. And she was screaming. She was like a crazy, hysterical. And then she said, please save my child. And but yes, I'll save you. I'll save your child. Give your child next to me. And she was so happy. She kept it next to the Buddha. And the Buddha said, but I'll save your child only if you do one thing. You get me a handful of rice. You just get me a handful of rice. But handful of rice, not from any family. From one family where death never happened. Where they never saw a death. So maybe today, if Parag is there, right? Okay, so where death has never occurred, get this handful of rice from that family. And the lady was so happy. Of course, that's very easy to get it. Then she rushed to the town, banged at the door, every door, and asked, please give me a handful of rice. Everybody was so happy to give the rice, but with the condition, did any death happen to your family before? Everybody has to say a story. Yes, last year I lost my mom. Last year I lost my dad. Last year I lost my son. Last year I lost my newborn baby. Everybody had a story to share. Then suddenly she got a sense. Her sanity, insanity calmed down. Sanity came to her. Okay, it's not something happened to me only. It happened to everybody. Then she went to the Buddha and she said that, Venerable Sir, now I understand what you're teaching is. This is a universal fact. It's not only that happened to me. Okay. So, what we were discussing? So much pain, and so much love, and so much pain. Now, emptiness and dependent origination. These are two sides of the same coin. All the pains that we go through, underlying the pain is the self-grasping ignorance. You're getting it? It's like, for example, say, let's say, just imagine, like 1 million years ago, it's Arctic Circle. Okay, by the way, the nuns, where's the Arctic Circle? Down or south or north? Huh? North. Are you sure? Okay, she's very confident. What's your name? This is Bimla. This is class 12 finished? Not finished? Finished, okay. So she's very confident. I finished class 12. Right? So it's north. Thank you. So let's say 1 million years ago, tell me, how strong were the icebergs in Arctic Circle? Very strong or melting? Very strong. And those days, people could not believe that one day these icebergs will melt. You getting it? So, just imagine in those days, if they stack buildings, if they construct buildings on these icebergs, they can build it. Icebergs very strong, so firm. Then, 1 million later, 2025, global warming, even these icebergs start to melt. What happens? Once the moment the icebergs melts, what happened to what's stacked on top of the iceberg? They will all crumble down. You getting it? Self-grasping ignorance is like the iceberg. On this iceberg, all the pains are stacked up. The moment the iceberg, self-grasping ignorance dissolves, what is stacked up, all the pains, they crumble down. The pains dissolve. So, what is that? How to get rid of this iceberg-like self-grasping? How to get rid of this self-grasping? How to get rid of self-grasping ignorance? Anyone? Yes. By the wisdom of emptiness. By the wisdom of emptiness. Non-dual wisdom of emptiness. So therefore, wisdom of emptiness is so important to cut all the pains. You're getting it? So, let's see. Emptiness and dependent origination. Two sides of the same coin. Seeing emptiness, all the pains will dissolve. Then the other side is dependent origination. By seeing dependent origination, you will see things, they are all really connected to each other. We are dependent on others. So therefore, only if I care care for others, I give care for others, others will give care for me. We all dependent on each other. Your love and affection increases. By seeing dependent origination, love and affection increases. Your love increases even more than what we have today. By seeing emptiness, you see all your pains dissolve. So pain dissolve to zero, and love and affection to increase to infinity. So that is the effect of understanding emptiness in the form of dependent origination. Good? Okay. So we'll stop here. Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvaha Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvaha Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvaha. Three prostrations together.